The film, created by Jennifer Newsom and titled Misrepresentation, depicts the reality of the disproportionate objectification of women and girls in the contemporary media-constructed culture. The film attempts to introduce a new narrative of criticism toward the biased representation of females on TV, social media, and traditional media. In a 90-minute video, numerous facts, statistical data, interviews, as well as multiple examples of the media's portrayal of women are collected. All this material generalizes the United States culture influenced by media that women are sexual objects without power, ambition, or expertise to be influencers and leaders. The critically analyzes the scope of negativity toward women in the media that induces the young generation's ability to obtain fulfilled identities and make a difference in the world. Newsom applies her life perspective to exemplify how media portrays women now and how it should address women in the future to make the world a place with equal opportunities for women and men. It is argued that since the long-term objectifying depiction of females on media has made such a significant impact, then the power of media should be used in the reverse direction. As the film shows, mainstream media significantly contributes to the underrepresentation of women in powerful positions in the USA. One of the examples is the concentration of media's attention on women's appearance and perfect body types rather than on their accomplishments. The message that the media has been sending to society is closely intertwined with consumerism and advertisement. Indeed, much money is spent on advertising and promoting beauty patterns and idealized body types to encourage beauty product demand in the public who want to pursue the images imposed by media. As one of the speakers in the film states, it is a hugely profitable pursuit for those media industries and all of the advertisers, the results of which are observed in numbers. As the statistic shows, United States advertisers spent $235.6 billion in 2009, which is more money than the GDP of 80% of countries in the world. As a result, women who consume information from the media spend more money on beauty products than on education, which ultimately diminishes their opportunities in the long run. Another example of the media's influence of the underrepresentation of women of power and influence is the self-objectification induced by the media's messages. Not only the world, but women see themselves as objects whose appearance plays a more significant role than what they know and what they can do. As a result of self-objectification, girls have lower self-esteem, fewer ambitions, and are more frequently depressed because they are confused with the role they are expected to play in society. Women are perceived as weak and with no potential in making a difference and becoming a leader. The diminishing media's portrayal and objectifying and sexist attacks on the women in powerful positions like Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, or Sarah Palin only amplify the problem by discouraging other women from being in the same position. The film attempts to challenge the media's limited and disparaging representation of females by criticizing the observed reality and introducing a solution. Indeed, the documentary shows that United States politics is particularly affected by the drastic implications of the media's biased gender portrayal. As a result, the USA is in the 90th position among all the world's countries in terms of women in the national legislature. Such a tendency disrupts the principles of democratic legitimacy since a significant part of the United States population does not participate in the formation of laws under which they must live. Consequently, the film attracts viewers' attention to the severe outcomes of female misrepresentation in media. They include women's underpaid jobs, the lack of equality in political influence, no paid family leave, domestic abuse, and the lack of legal and healthcare protection. Thus, the media's influence should be critically addressed at the level of national culture consideration due to the significance of its influence on the young population's cognition and worldview. A powerful quote used in the film sheds light on the solution that the author of the documentary proposes. Using the words of Marian Wright Edelman, the narrator states that you cannot be what you cannot see. This perspective produces a vicious circle within which girls do not become leaders because they do not have an observable example to follow, and since few female leaders exist, the media does not portray them enough. Consequently, the film shows how to solve this problem by highlighting the importance of showing women of power on the TV and other media to break stereotypes and empower the young generation of women. In my opinion, the problem behind the exaggerated attention of the media toward women's appearance and sexuality rather than on their intellectual and professional achievements is very disturbing. The scope of the influence is immense due to the rising rate of internet and media usage across the world. I experience ambiguity in formulating the role of a contemporary woman in society because of the conflict between what is portrayed by the media and what I believe to be true. Thus, I feel the influence of media on my worldview. That is why it is vital to change the direction the media narrative develops now. It will allow for transforming not only the representation of women but also the attitude of society toward people whose gender would not be a decisive factor for growth and opportunity. Study Corgi can help you make your studies smarter. Visit studycorgi.com for more samples like this, study tips, and writing tools.